Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be continuing reading throughout the entire Bible verse, or the entire Bible. Today we're going to be learning about Elijah, like I said last week. This is called the Flower Power. This is based on 1 Kings chapter 17, 7 through 24. So, this it says, the drought has affected Elijah's creek as well. After a year with no rain, his water source dries up. Now, wait a second, hold on. We might have skipped over a story. Yeah, I think we did. I don't remember reading this, so hold on a second. Alright, we're going to actually read the wicked queen and the defiant prophet. So we skipped over one. This is based on 1 Kings as well. This is chapter 16, 29 through 17 of verse 6. This says, about 60 years after Israel split into two kingdoms, which obviously we learned about that, Ahab comes to the throne. Eventually, Ahab proves himself to be the most evil in the long line of bad kings. But his first and most wicked acts being when he marries Jezebel, a foreign prince who worships a foreign god. So, obviously Israel is known for its, its Christian leaders, loyal to the one true God. A lot of them have a problem bringing these foreign wives who worship these false idols, these false gods. And obviously now he's married Jezebel. So, if I am to be the queen of all Israel, then all Israel must worship my god Baal. Please, my dear, build me a temple for Baal. It's almost this is like the same situation that we had dealt with Solomon. His wife wanted false idols because that's what she worshipped. He built them for him. He ended up worshiping them as well as dragging all the people away from God to worship them as well. So he says, anything you ask for, my queen. And she says, all good, because I've already invited several hundred priests from my home country to settle here. So he builds it. And, the crowd shouts, more sacrifices to Baal. Jezebel's god of rain. She doesn't respect the one true God, that wicked queen. And, some of the guards, obviously, this is watch your tongue, or you'll lose it. Queen Jezebel won't stand for talk like that. Because as her priests have carried in this statue. That's why Jesus never gave us an image of what he had looked like. And the reason is because he doesn't want us to worship an image. He doesn't want us to worship a statue, an object. He wants us to have faith believing, to know what he's there. Yes, we don't know what he looks like. We have, paintings and things like that of what we think he might look like, but he doesn't want us worshiping an image. He doesn't want us to worship an object or a statue of him or anything. He wants us to worship him. He wants us to, worship him spiritually, and have that faith spiritually. For them, they always have these statues, and they're golden, and they're worshiping an object, something that's not even true. They give it a name and all this other stuff. In this situation, Baal, and then they have the audacity to bring it into God's country and to sit there to turn people away from God and towards false gods and false idols, when really we should be bringing people away from them and showing them to the one true God. It's something that the devil has poisoned people's minds with. Is these fake and false prophets and gods. Just like the whole Greek mythology stuff. Where there's Zeus and there's Hercules and all these, all their gods of love, God of, peace or whatever. When our one true God is the God of all, and he is the creator, and he is the one true God. Even it says on the sash when he'll come back, God, the Lord of Lords, the King of Kings. He's the one and only. But let's continue this story. Nor will she stand for any competition with her God. So many of my people have turned to your God Baal. My God, he's also your God, Ahab, and everybody's God. Only Baal will be worshipped where I am queen. And he says that won't be easy. There are still people in Israel who worships God, Israel's God. They won't worship Israel's God any longer. Shut down the temples. Kill anyone who won't bow to Baal. A vicious woman she is. Even as she gives her orders, a stranger in travel-worn clothes appear before the throne. He shouts, "Who are you? How did you get past the guards?" He says, "I am Elisha. The Lord is my God. You think Baal controls the rain and the crops? I will show you who is in charge. There will be no rain in this land, not even a morning dew, until I say so." She shouts out, "Kill that man." But Elijah disappears before anyone can lay, and that is, lay hands on him. God, as always said, He will protect you. He's there for you. He's your strength. He's your protector. He's your provider. And because of their wickedness and of their turning people away from God and towards something that is false, which is the God of rain, as they say. God will take all rain away from them. They won't even have a dew in the morning. You walk outside in the morning, sometimes even at night. There's a dew. There's that moisture on the ground. That won't even be there. There will be a great drought. And he says, obviously it's time to hide. Outside the palace, the word of the Lord comes to Elijah. He tells him it's time to hide. Following the Lord's instruction, Elijah goes through a tiny creek east of the Jordan River. There are ravens. Now, this is incredible. Ravens bring him bread and meat in the morning and evening. Again, He's your provider. The Lord will take care of you. God will take care of you. He uses ravens, the great creatures that He created, and they fly there every morning. They drop off bread and meat to His hand so he can eat. The Lord has a sense of humor. He could have used any kind of miracle to feed me, yet He uses unclean birds to bring me food. And that is something that is very true. God definitely has a sense of humor. I will wait here until God tells me my next step. I must say, I'd rather pass the time with unclean animals than the Baal-worshipping people. Meanwhile, Jezebel is furious. Obadiah, since you are chief of steward, I order you to hunt down anyone who still worships Yahweh, which is another word for God, and kill them, especially the prophets, and especially this Elijah. But Obadiah himself is still faithful to the Lord. Instead of killing the Lord's prophet, he secretly hides them in caves. As the months go by with no rain, Israel once a green land slowly but steadily becomes a desert. The streams dry up and the crops die. Famine overcomes the land. So, as he hides them, things like that, Elijah's and God's promise is fulfilled. No rain, and, a drought comes along. All the crops begin to die. It begins to look like a desert. And as they stand out there, they blame it on Elijah. This is all Elijah's fault. So we will see what God uses Elijah for next, and how Israel will turn out. You should never, obviously things has changed. God doesn't take things to the extreme as He did at these times. But punishment is still there, and as we've seen that greatly in America, especially as America has turned away from God and has welcomed sin with great joy into it, we've seen just how much it has fallen, and it will continue to fall, and it will continue to get worse as the world comes closer and closer to the end. And what little good is in America, is people who is still willing to spread the news of Jesus as well as His love, and that if that's all you could do, who cares what people might think of you? Who cares, what they might say to you, whether they like you or not? Jesus Christ still loves you. He has eternal love, or His love is everlasting to everlasting, and you will be blessed greatly for it. That I can guarantee you. This life and the next. And just spread as much of that, of His gospel, of His love, as you can, as well as the well-being and goodness that you can spread around, to this, fallen nation and fallen world, truthfully. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys learned something new. As always, take it easy, and I'll catch you guys next week.